Have you ever got out of bed, told yourself, I need to make some beats or some loops or some songs, and had zero motivation, couldn't play a single note that felt right? Everything you tried to do, you ended up just deleting or putting away and started something fresh. Well, in many circles you call that beat block. Writers call it writer's block. Let's just call it a creative block. Well, my music maker family, I'm going to show you a method that I came up with that helps me when I have a creative block. And it works almost 100% of the time. I say almost 100% because nothing's perfect. But I'm going to show you starting right now. Now, this method really just involves drawing on your own content that you've already made. For example, this beat that I have right here that you're seeing on the screen, I made this beat a while back and it's on my website. And it's not a bad beat, I actually like it, but I don't love it. I, like many creators that I know, and maybe some of you, have a tendency to think of something that you've made before as past tense or maybe expired, not worth going back to. But if there's one thing that I've realized, your older content, your older beats and samples are very valuable. Even though you may have grown past them in terms of your musical ability, there's always something in them that you can salvage, something that can spark new inspiration, new ideas. So, not getting off track, I went back to this older beat and I listened to it, and what I ended up doing was I ended up taking out the melody, just bouncing out the melody. Let me play the beat for you.
Make the thing fresh.
Kind of nice, soulful boom bap type beat, right? So like I said, I bounced out the melody, so no drums, just the bass and the piano and the guitar and the strings and whatnot. I put that into Serato sample and chopped that up, changed the pitch. I don't remember if it's pitched up or pitched down, but we're gonna go into Serato sample right now. We're gonna see exactly what I did. I did not go through and do any intricate surgical slicing of parts that I liked or whatnot. I did a simple auto slicer, and you decided to use whatever that gave me. So from the beat that I just played, these are the chops that I ended up with after pitching it down 2 semitones. Right, so right away you can see that I took something and changed it into something else. It's almost like alchemy. It was one thing, took out the melodic parts, rearranged them, changed the pitch, pitched it down, and came up with a whole new loop, a whole new melodic structure. So just engaging in this process, 2 things happen. Number 1, sampling is such an art unto itself. The mere act of chopping up a nice sample and figuring out which chops go well with what and how to place them and how to kind of even just play them as though you're playing an instrument, that gets the creative juices flowing right away. Secondly, if you're like me and you do know music theory, from the time you get that new melodic structure, you begin to hear other things that you can play on top of that. So the inspiration is in overdrive. I mean, the overdrive just kicks in. So having said that, I did come up with a couple of things to play and layer on top of that sample. And I'm going to play those for you now, minus the sample. So these elements are pretty staple elements in this style of beat, right? You got your Rhodes and some vocals. If you're making something soulful, even neo-soul kind of based, this is where your sound selection ought to be. And is actually really simple what I did. We're playing in the key of F minor and the sample is busy, so with the Rhodes, all I did was I played the F minor chord, but I did it in this extremely strummed, or you might even want to call it arpeggiated way. Obviously, that last chord is not an F minor chord. That last chord is actually a D sharp or an E flat major with the 7th note that comes in. On the vocal, this is a vocal that I kind of sound designed, created in Arturia's Augmented Voices. Again, very simple. Just F minor, 7th, C minor, 7th. Pretty good, right? So now let's just play the chops and then these two melodic elements all together. Before I forget to mention, I made a second set of chops. So what I did was I copied the pattern here and made it unique. And because the sample has different sections, one section will be considered the hook section or the chorus section that is bigger and has more going on. Then there's another section that's a lot more stripped down, where you would probably hear a verse, rapper or singer doing their verses, right? So I was able to identify the chops that I use for the main or chorus part, find those same chops in the quieter or more stripped down part of the sample, and replicate the same pattern. So I will play it now so that you can hear the chorus part going into the verse part and see that it's the same pattern, the same sequence, but one is more busy or more full and the other is stripped down. And this is a tip that you can use if your sample is set up in such a way that there's different parts. And now the interesting thing about this is that what I've created here is also going to be a sample. So I took the melody from an older beat, resampled it, and then added stuff. And that's going to be a sample in a sample pack that other producers can then sample, chop up how they feel like, and go again. So it's almost like recycling recycled materials. So that's the beauty of music and this genre of hip hop that we tend to dwell in. The possibilities are literally limitless. And one piece of music, one sample can be reinterpreted and reimagined in almost infinite or maybe infinite different ways. And you can create a unique piece of work from one. You can create God knows how many permutations of one sample for them to be each unique pieces of work that you can then build on and make something brand new. So I think that this is a great way to beat block. I can take this and add some drums on top, and the possibilities again are endless. This could be a whole beat that I could post on my Type Beat channel. Or a producer could take this and flip it again, like I said, add their own drums and post it on their Type Beat channel. So, Music Maker family, this is just a quick video to show you my process of getting out of creative block, beat block, simply by going back to older pieces of work that I did and finding bits of inspiration in the melody, or maybe the drums, or maybe just the way the keys are played, and using that. You don't necessarily have to do it in this exact way, but this is the way that works for me. Take an old melody, it could be an old sample from an old sample pack that you made if you make samples, or it could be the melody from a beat if you made the melody 100% yours. You chop that up, you change it up, you morph it, you bend it, you twist it, you do all the things that good samplers know how to do, and then you add layers on top of that, and it becomes something brand new. And boom, before you know it, you've defeated your beat block. Well, hopefully this helped you, and if you like this type of content more and more, please click the like and subscribe. It really helps. And you probably hear from me doing some more of these, showcasing how to get out of creative ruts, or how to make something completely unique from something else that you never thought would have amounted to anything, or that you had written off completely. I actually think I'm going to add some drums to this and make it a full beat and play it for you as the outro to this video. Peace out. We'll talk again soon.